America. Dave Hodges here. I am the host of the Common Sense Show web show that's freeing America one enslaved mind at a time. Thank you so much for joining us. Really good to be with you. And if you've not signed up for our newsletter, well, it's one-stop shopping for the multiple presentations we do. Go to thecommonsenseshow.com, click on the newsletter link in the upper right-hand corner, put in your email. That's all we need, and we don't sell it. And you'll get yours every single day. More than 50,000 people are doing it, and it's free. Really good deal. Yesterday, I provoked some controversy. You're here, they're watching us. Well, they are. But who's they? Do you really believe, after all that I've said about my Christian faith, that I think there's aliens? But a lot of people are going to believe that in the coming days, weeks, months, maybe years. I think we're close. I think we're close to Project Bluebeam, which is satanically inspired, fake alien invasion. I'm going to walk you through scripture. Then maybe some of you will write and apologize, because some of you weren't very nice. Here we go. Genesis 6, 1 through 4. The Nephilim, the sons of God. This describes the sons of God interpreted as fallen angels interacting with humans, producing hybrid offspring, Nephilim giants. And their giants are in the Bible, right? David killed one of them with Goliath, right, with a slingshot. Proponents argue this shows that they can take physical form and interfere in human affairs, potentially masquerading as advanced beings from elsewhere. Nothing like what's going on with Three Eye Atlas to add to the mystery, raise the apprehension, right? 2 Corinthians, and I quote from 11:4. And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed into an angel of light. This verse highlights Satan's ability to disguise himself deceptively. Interpreters extend this to suggest fallen angels could appear as benevolent ETs, offering enlightenment or technology fitting modern UFO encounters described as spiritual or deceptive. It reminds me of the Twilight Zone to serve man.
Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all the praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakha, Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching this word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayatha Dawadah, the elect house of David that are scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. So as you can see on screen here, this is Dave Hodges with the Common Sense Show. And the title of his little video here is called Even the Elect Will Be Deceived. 3-1 Atlas, The Great Deception. Now what he talked about was Project Bluebeam, and it is Satan, and it is inspired by the wicked elites here as one of their signs and lying wonders. So we're going to go ahead and read about this real quick. This is a slot here. It says Serge Monast, 1945 or 6 December 1996, was a Canadian conspiracy theorist, mostly known for his promotion of the Project Bluebeam conspiracy theory, which posits a plot to facilitate totalitarian world government by destroying Abrahamic religions. So just a set of monotheistic religions that respect or admire the religious figure Abraham, namely Judaism, Christianity, Islam. The other term often usually encompasses several smaller faiths, and replacing them with a new age belief system using futuristic NASA technology and involving a faked alien invasion or faked extraterrestrial encounter meant to deceive nations into uniting under a new world government. So they're basically trying to, so Project Bluebeam is supposed to be a big false narrative that's going to get the people to unite under a new world order. As it says right here, in the early 1990s, he started writing on the theme of the new world order and conspiracies hatched by secret societies, being particularly inspired by the works of William Guy Carr. In 1994, he published Project Bluebeam, in which he detailed his claim that NASA, with the help of the United Nations, was attempting to implement a new age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order via a technologically simulated second coming of the Messiah. He also just reading a little bit of reading some details here, but that's basically the purpose here of Project Bluebeam. Okay, so through their false narratives, okay, through their lies and deceit. And so I'm gonna get a quick script here before we get back into the video here. So this is going to be 2 Corinthians. Slot when we get there. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11. Bear with me for a moment. 2 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 11, it says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." Okay? So, we know this devil's game plan. We know what he's about and what he's about to do. Okay? You know, prophecy is speaking. Prophecy is jumping off the pages, now more so than ever. And this devil, Esau Edom, he's revealing himself more and more so. You know, if you can't see it by now, then at this point, you're beyond help. Okay? Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai just has you just bugged out here. Okay? We know through this devil's predictive programming, false narratives, and ways to distract the common masses, we know that it's all just a front for something much bigger. Okay, so let's get back to the video here. But as I was saying here earlier about how attempting to implement a new age religion with the Antichrist at its head and start a new world order via a technologically simulated second coming of the Messiah. So this right here, this is this is the book of 1 John chapter 2, verse 18. In fact, let me get this real quick here. Salakia. Okay, I'm gonna start at this is 1 John chapter 2. I'm starting verse 16, and it says, "For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world." In verse 17, "And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof, but he that doeth the will of the power abideth forever." Yeah, because the reason why the pleasures of this life are passing away, because Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai is bringing that judgment. He's putting that tight squeeze on the society, using this devil, Esau Edom, on the left-hand side to do it. Okay, and we still have yet to see what real hell is. In verse 18, it says, "Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that anti-Hamashiach shall come, even now there are many anti-Hamashiachs, whereby we know that it is the last time." So there are many anti-Messiahs that are walking the earth today, causing all sorts of wickedness, confusion, deception. Okay? So, you know, as the scriptures say in the book of Job, the 9th chapter, verse 24, "The earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, who and where is he?" Okay? And also Proverbs 29:2. And that tells you when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. So let's go ahead and get back to this.
The Canaanites came to earth. Oh, they did wonders and wonders and wonders. And then we realized they were actually here for a cookbook to eat us.
Oh, and by the way, where it says in Genesis 6, chapter 1 through 4, let me get that real quick. Genesis chapter 6, where Dave Hodges said that there were literal giants. Okay? Genesis chapter 6, verse 1, it says, "And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them." Okay? That verse 2, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose. And verse 3, "And Yahweh said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for he also is flesh, yet his days shall be 120 years. Verse 4, "And there were giants in the earth." And if you go to the blue letter and you look at the word giant, I can't remember the exact word that it was. I don't know. Can't see right now, but that giant is not talking about like a literal giant, like someone that's of a massive size. That's talking about people who had status, men of renown, people who had status, renown. They were well known. They were feared and respected. Okay, they had that reverence. Okay, they had that reputation. And it says there were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of the Most High came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. So there you go. Mighty men, conquerors, all that. And it says here in 2 Corinthians 11:14, which is the other scripture he pulled out. 2 Corinthians 11:14, and it says, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed to an angel of light." In fact, you know what? Let me start at verse 13. Actually, let me go back to verse 13. Verse 13, 2 Corinthians 11:13, it says, "For such are false apostles, deceitful workers, transforming themselves into the apostles of Hamashiach." Verse 14, "And no marvel, for Satan himself is transformed to an angel of light." So, you have a lot of false prophets, false apostles, and those that claim to be the righteous. And those small hats that are in the land right now, they claim that they are the chosen, that they are the righteous. If that's the case, then why is the world in such chaos and disorder? Because the scriptures do say that the righteous, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. So if they are righteous, the people wouldn't be struggling just to get by in society now. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn. Right now, people around the world are in a state of mourning. Barely making it, living just barely above the poverty line, but still they can't afford much of anything. People losing jobs, losing homes. So that right there tells you, these people that are in the land right now are claimed to be the people of the Most High, are not the righteous.
Revelation 12:9. "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast into the earth, and his angels were cast with him." This depicts Satan and his angels being thrown to earth with an emphasis on global deception. Some link this to end-time scenarios where demonic forces imitate ET invasions or contacts to mislead humanity. Ephesians 6:12. Principalities in high places, heavenly realms, in some transactions is referred to as spiritual battles in the atmosphere or space. And by the way,
and we all know Revelation 12 and 9, the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil. That's talking about Esau, Edom, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. His followers. Okay? So, this isn't talking about how, this is, I mean, Dave said it himself that he's of the Christian faith, so he believes in, Satan and his angels being thrown to earth from heaven and all that. No, that's not the case. It's Esau, Edom was taken out of power at the time, and he was put into the Caucasus Mountains. Okay? For 1,000 years. And that's when Jake ruled in the Byzantine Empire, which was the Eastern Roman Empire, I believe. So, in Ephesians 6 and 12, so I'm just going to let him continue here.
those of you who say there's no space, I'm sorry, buy a science book. Okay, I don't mean to be sarcastic, but those are ridiculous comments. Jude 1 through 6, and the angels which kept not their first estate, but left after their own habitation, he hath reserved in everlasting chains under darkness unto the judgment of the great day. Cross-reference with 2 Peter 2:4, for if God spared not the angels that...
So those angels that left their first estate, which kept not their first estate but left their own habitation, that's talking about the Israelites, the sons of God. And those everlasting chains is where we're at right now, these feeble bodies. The sinful flesh that's designed to go off and of course to wither away, grow old, and die until the judgment of the great day. And Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12. In fact, I'll start at verse 11. It says, put on the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. And the wiles is talking about his devices, his craftiness, his plots, his schemes. Verse 12, for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual weakness in high places. Okay, the ruling parties, the governments. Okay, this hierarchy in the society, which is Esau, Edom's hierarchy. His government, his politicians, mayors, all that shit. 13, wherefore take you unto the whole armor of the Most High, that ye may be able to withstand in that evil day, and having done all to stand. Okay? To not bend the knee to not bend the knee to this society, man.
Sin, but cast them all down to hell. This describes the angels who abandoned their proper domain, and often tied to the Genesis 6 events. Some argue these habitation-leaving angels could manifest as ETs in modern times. By the way, I've given this presentation in 2 different forums to Hear the Watchman, and some of the pastors that attend there say this is the great topic in eschatology today. Balanced perspectives, supporting views. Chuck Missler talked about this. Opposing views. Other sources argue the Bible doesn't address ETs at all. It does address the Great Deception. We're going to get to that in a second. That's where I think this comes in. Okay? And it stresses here, but not to biological aliens from other planets. I agree. But the deception could make it seem so. My father worked with these captured German scientists after World War II. He said to them, where did you get this knowledge? The physics they were putting on the drawing board was 200-300 years ahead of what we had. Oh, we got it from aliens. Did you ever meet them? Well, no, but our commanders did. My dad was convinced they were alien entities, and then enter Vance Davis, my good friend, former NSA. Vance basically said that they were tasked, when he was with the NSA on loan to NATO, to imitate the Nazi experiments, summoning evil entities in the occult. to bring forth technology. He refused. It ended his career. Okay.
Well, of course. This has to be an ad. Salakia for this.
Huggies Double Grip Strips versus Baby Gear. Will it stay put? A toy piano? Yep.
It ended his career. Okay. Now we'll go to the Great Deception, often called the Strong Delusion. The Great Delusion in the Bible primarily refers to a prophesied end times event where God allows widespread deception to occur, leading people to believe lies and false signs described as judgment on those who reject the truth. And it even says even the elect could be deceived. Don't let anyone deceive you in those ways. This is from 2 Thessalonians 2, 3 through 12. For that day will not come until the rebellion occurs and the man of lawlessness is revealed, the man doomed to destruction. He will oppose and exalt himself even, this is so biblical. Okay, so in other words, I'm going to skip through some of this and basically say, presented as the second coming, it's a great delusion.
So yeah, that was 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, that was 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3 and through, so on and so forth. We all know who the man of sin is. That man that has that great pride, the son of perdition, right? It's Esau, Edom.
Great deception, wonder.
And of course, you know, when you bring it out, the truth, and you back up with not only scripture but secular history, that the wicked that the Bible speak of is the so-called white people. Of course, they're going to get greatly offended. But, you know, the truth is the truth.
Full works of wonders designed to deceive even the elect. Okay, a couple of the biblical references here. Matthew 24:24, for false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. Revelations 13 through 14. And it performed great signs, even causing fire to come down from the heaven, 3i Atlas, to the earth in full view of the people, because of the signs it was given to perform on behalf of the first beast. It deceived the inhabitants of the earth. Well, it won't deceive me, will it deceive you? Just tie into the broader themes of end time.
Well, for one, the elect will not be deceived. And that's for damn sure, because Yahweh Shemel tries to make sure that his elect make it through this and not bend the knee. This is Romans chapter 11, verse 4, and it says, but what saith the answer of the power unto him? I have reserved to myself 7,000 men, and the number 7 is his number of completion. 7,000 men who have not bowed the knee to the image of Baal. Verse 5, even so, then at this present time, also there is a remnant according to the election of grace. Verse 6, and if by grace, then it is no more of works, otherwise grace is no more of grace. But if it be of works, then it is no more of grace, otherwise work is no more work. So, we've been given this grace period to prove our works, to turn back and to prove ourselves, to do right, to get right. Otherwise, what's the point? Verse 7, what then? Israel hath not obtained that which he seeketh for, but the election hath obtained it, and the rest were blinded. Okay? Only the elect are going to understand and see through this. In verse 8, according as it is written, the power hath given them the spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. Okay? Talking about the 2/3. Not all of Israel is going to see this. Not all of Israel is going to get it. So, not all, like, only the elect, the 144,000 and the rest of the multitude, the men, women, and children. Those are the ones that are going to understand. They're going to have the eyes to see, the ears to hear, and the heart to understand. So, the elect will not be deceived. But yes, these Matthew 24 and 24, like Dave brought out. Okay? It says, "For there shall arise false Mashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive you, the very elect." Verse 25, "But behold, I have told you before." 26, "Wherefore if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not." 27, "For as lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall the coming of the Son of Man be." 28, "For wheresoever the carcass is, there." Well, no, I don't want to read that. But so in these last days, man, there's going to be signs and lying wonders and deceit all over. Deception is ruling over the world right now, and it's only going to increase. So that's why we got to really keep a calm mind and be spiritually minded, and not let anything get under our skin, I should say. So,
deception by Satan and his agents, Ephesians 5:6, and various Psalms warning against the deceit. Okay, let me skip down to here. Theories suggest that UFOs could be part of the strong delusion in 2 Thessalonians, where apparent alien encounters or disclosures serve as false signs to promote a one-world religion. Tower of Babel, internet, maybe. Or deny Christian eschatology. Some view aliens as disguised demons, fitting warnings about deceptive spirits in passages like 1 Timothy 4-1. The Spirit clearly says that in later times we'll abandon the faith and follow deceiving spirits and things taught by demons. This idea appears in books like The Greatest Deception, The Bible UFO Connection by Patrick Cook, which argues biblical chariots of fire, wheels in the sky, Ezekiel 1, could describe UFO-like events. Okay, I think I've made my point. I could go on and on and on and on here, but the reality is this. We have to meet the enemy on the battlefield that they're at. Satan and his fallen angels are the enemy. Genesis 6, verse 4 says, "And they were there afterwards." What was there? Well, the Nephilim, they survived the flood. Their DNA survived the flood. I think there's little doubt, and I think some of them are living among us, influencing world affairs, just my theory, but it's rooted in Genesis 6, verse 4. Now, I think we've been dealing with evil for a long time. This planet's evil. It's led by evil. It thrives on war. I mean, even the Hopis have a saying that even a tree is not so foolish as to have branches fight amongst themselves. That's a good description. It's not normal to want to kill people you don't know because someone tells you to go do it, makes up a reason, all because they want more stuff. Our wars of occupation that Trump said he would never put us in, Venezuela. I don't mind the attack on Iran for obvious reasons, but we should be withdrawing weapons from Ukraine. We're going to deal with this in the next segment, but the reality is this, folks. We are going through a great deception. I am going to present it where people can understand it as reported.
So, yeah, you know, we're in that time where, we're in that time of great deception, because as he brought out in the 1 Timothy chapter, let me bring it out. 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 1. It says, "Now the Spirit speaketh expressly that in the latter times some shall depart from the faith, giving heed to seducing spirits and doctrines of devils." And that's also ultimately part of the great sifting, because Satan, the spiritual demon Satan, And the demons on the left-hand side, they're doing the work of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai to sift out those that are not rooted, that don't have the truth, and that lack the faith. So, which should give us all the more reason, not only just to fear Yahweh Hashem Yahushai first and foremost, but to have more faith, you know. Stay rooted and keep what's been taught, you know. Hold on to what we've been taught, all right? Because this right here, you know, this is it, man. We can't really be, we really got to be circumspect, as the scriptures say. But yeah, the elect will not be deceived. And Yahweh Hashem Yahushua willing that we are of the elect. You know, that we don't, you know, that we are able to not fall prey to the wiles of this devil. And with that, I hope this was an edifying lesson unto the body. Once again, this is from the Common Sense Show with Dave Hodges. It's titled, Even the Elect Will Be Deceived by the 3-1 Atlas, The Great Deception, which is false. Okay, and we're closing. I'd like to give all the honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Racha Kwadash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of the Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayatha Dabadad, the elect house of David that is scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. Kwam Yasharallah, Wa Abad Abal, Shalom, Barakatam.